I keep saying this. I think I need to like really upgrade my Wi-Fi. But my name is Colleen Gallagher, if you've never been introduced to me. And when you join, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. Hey, Don. This is my little friend. I like to call him like, I don't know, I don't have a name. I just call him like the vibe. He's like the vibey dog that like, whenever I feel like out of alignment, I just look at him and I'm like, turn on some music, be good, put your sunglasses on, no bad vibes, no negative energy allowed to enter this space, and just be whatever. So anyway, I wanted to come on because I wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. I haven't done a podcast episode on it, but I might do an episode. But I did want to talk about it because I obviously am I really like this over here, so he can be included. I really want to talk about this because it's on relationships, and I think it's really important. So two people who had such a public trial, right? And I do feel like Johnny alluded to this, but you can't have such a toxic relationship, right, without love. And there is an element of love that I think we don't talk about that is toxic. Like, I think we all like to say, like, oh, relationships are da-da-da. Like, relationships in truth, the truest of truth, are our biggest mirrors. So whatever we see in someone else, especially interpersonal relationships that are like deeply loved, deeply like we are relying. We can pretend that on enlightenment, we're not relying on anyone for emotional support or validation or whatever. But when we're in a deeply emotional partnership, we are interdependent. We are not like solitude species. We are community based. We are social beings. We are habitat. Like, this is just science, you know? So for someone to say like, oh, either case, like for them to get that deep into a relationship, there was a lot of love, and they had to have a point of love to even open in a portal that way. And the love, right, got so fragmented, it got so fractured, it got so broken that it created distortion, where he was taken over by other energies or darker forces, and she was overtaken by darker energies and forces. And in my opinion, she still is taken over by darker forces and entities. I mean, you can look at her on the stand, and I don't think any psychological person is going to say that she's psychologically well. And then this is not bashing her. This is not to say like, you know, that she did something wrong. But I'm just sharing like that. And also, if you look at the videos, he was not psychologically well. You know, he was using drugs a lot and drinking. Neither of them were psychologically well. Whether they did that to each other, where there was love and it was just so broken and they couldn't walk away from each other, and you get in this addictive pattern, which you do in love, because when you decide I emotionally am relying on you, I'm an emotional partnership with you, I'm feeding you and you are feeding me, right? Because partnership is unification. It's when you're merging energies, you're merging DNA strands, and it's like coming together, right? And we can say all this bullshit about whatever, being a sovereign being, whatever. No, your interpersonal relationships, this is science. You know what I'm saying? And so they got to such a place where it was dopamine. Everything that they were doing was so they would get dopamine, so they could get high, so they could try to return to the state that they once were at, which just obviously was impossible. But when you're in it, it's so hard to break the cycle. And so what I wanted to come on and what I want to share is that wherever you are on your journey of healing, of enlightenment, of creating love in your life, and even this trial, I do think it's a big win for men. So I do honestly think that Johnny should have won. I don't think that she should have said the things she said. I think that he didn't do the things that she's saying. I think they both did things to each other. But I think that she tried to paint him as the bad guy without her being also a villain. And I think that's really important. And even in my third book, An Uncompromised Life, you can't like call someone a narcissist and not say that you were also a codependent. You can't say that someone was a villain and you didn't do something that needed to be saved or deemed them to have the opportunity to be a villain. So I don't know. I think it's a really interesting case. I think it's a big win for consciousness. I think it really stabilizes and balances. Like, I think the feminine went way over here of like, oh my God, woof, woof, woof. And I'm not saying bad things don't happen. They do. But I think this is really big for men who have been construed as doing horrible things to women when they actually hasn't been that bad. And the actual emotional restraint he showed, like when you listen to him and saying, like, I would be like, I'm going to go in the other room. I'm in the shower. What do you want? Like, he's literally trying to say, like, please, I do not want to talk right now. And she just kept coming at him and coming at him and coming at him. And the fact that he never hit her, like, even though she hit him, she put a door through him or something like this. Like, all these things, like, he showed incredible restraint, in my opinion. Most men would have been like batshit crazy and would have done way more than just hitting her once or something that it was. And I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying, like, you can't, as women or as people, we can't say, oh, well, this person did this, but what did you do to evoke that? And I'm not saying that bad things don't happen, but the percentage of like something absolutely extreme happening is so little. There's always a greater story behind like an extreme. You're usually a greater story behind something that's super extreme. Like, it doesn't just happen randomly. And so yeah, I wanted to come on. I wanted to share that. I want you to know that whatever you're doing in this life, whatever you're being, whatever you're doing, just be mindful that I feel like my mind's going blank, but just be mindful. Like, there is no like villain and hero. There is no like, it's no like extreme anymore. Like, we're all of it. Like, what did you do as a partner to merge your DNAs together, to spring together, to then co-create an experience like that? And only when you answer those questions will true truth arise. And so anyway, I think it was a big win. I'm happy that Johnny won. I appreciate him winning. I think that Amber needs a lot of psychological help. And I'm, excited for men to now have something they can say. If if you're going to say this and not actually say the full story behind it, defamation case. And I think this is a big win for men to have a right to stick up to women being dramatic for no reason. So, and I'm not saying that women, some things can happen, but we need to be better at looking at why did we co-create an experience, not just why did something happen to me. So I love you. I hope you have a great day. I have PhD class. I was meditating. I was thinking. I was feeling. That's it. I love you.